Hello everyone, I'm going to be presenting my sign-in page with personality. In this project, we explore and ideate and refine by selecting adjectives to create a sign-in page. And in this presentation, I'll be going through my design process from coming up with a list of adjectives to creating mood boards based off of the ones that were selected. And I'll also be showing my sketches and mid-fidelity prototypes and how I came up with my final design. So the first exercise we did was the 40 adjectives list, and in here they are colorized by their either their negative or positive connotation. So words like scary or fascist or sleazy are typically assumed with a negative connotation, whereas words like happy, enjoyment, or intelligent, we tend to have positive feelings towards. But after coming up with this list, we came to the probably the main part of this whole project, which was coming up with semiotic mood boards. The first adjective that I had chose was melancholic, which is defined as a state of deep sadness. And in my denotation, I have very like literal visuals of what it represents, which is where you can see people who appear to be in a state of sadness. And then here's some colors that are typically associated with the word, and here's some connotations where it's similar to the first one, where it's images that signify the meaning. And then here you have some other images and specific icons that are symbolic of what the term represents. There are also a few other other icons that are related, exemplar icons, and some textures that could be associated with the word. The next one that I decided to do was intelligent, which is defined as the ability to learn, understand, and reason and apply knowledge to solve problems. So here we have images that would be very recognizable. Like, so here we have a brain, we have someone writing down something, we have a complex equation written on a blackboard, and other examples of icons that I chose. The next term that I decided to do was uh, technical, which is defined as technologically created or requires expertise. So the same thing again, denotations, which literal visuals of my adjective, and then colors that it's associated with, and icons and textures. The third one that I chose was related to curiosity, which is a word that is defined as a strong desire to know, learn, or find out something. So once again, I have my denotations and my images that I think represent what my adjective means. Now we get into the pen and paper sketches. So for my first adjective, I decided to create a design based off the cypress willow tree, which symbolizes mourning and deep sadness in a lot of mythological stories. The next one is of a raining window, and this symbolizes similar emotions like sadness, which I think would convey the idea of what my term is to towards the user. And then an hourglass sketch, which is one of the icons that I had chosen, which represents like time, like slipping away, and is a icon that is like usually related to this word. For intelligence, I decided to do a calculator, which is like a universal sign of uh, like kind of a universal symbol. A notebook, which typically has connotations of intelligence, which is why I decided to create a design around that. And then a dictionary, which is similar to the notebook because a dictionary is also seen as like a universal symbol of like higher learning. And then for technical, I decided to do a bunch of like devices, like an iMac sketch, where it's kind of like meta, where the login page itself is uh, like on a computer. And this was a design that I quite liked. Here I have one with an iPhone, an Apple Watch. Here to represent curiosity, I decided to do a magnifying glass because I think that's also kind of like a universal symbol. Here we have kind of like a hidden door, kind of like a secret door that would like arouse like curiosity in someone. So I thought that would be an interesting design. So the two mid fidelity designs that I chosen were of the iMac and this of the cypress tree design. And after uh, doing a lot of like exploring and ideating and asking people around, I decided to go with the iMac sketch, which I built in Illustrator. And then here's my design statement that I have. Now, feedback I had received during the course of this project from either my professor or my peers was to add more images to the mood boards and to use signs and symbols that would be more closely associated with my adjectives. Um, Strategies that I used were to overcome some of these were to watch like videos on it and to ask people for help. Um, to reflect and on my whole process and some insights I gathered from doing this project is to spend more time refining and adding in details, um, managing the time better and finishing things on time, asking for feedback on how I should proceed, and focusing more on designing and the iteration process. Um, and so, future insights I have is to spend more times coming up with ideas and designs, and to work together with different peers in my class to help overcome any issues, and complete all tasks and activities in advance for a critique. But thank you for listening to my presentation. The rest here is just citations.